Hello everyone, my name is Jason Miles and I am a Senior Application Specialist for Manufacturing Solutions with Applied Software. And today we're going to talk about a great feature that Inventor has to offer that is known as Pack and Go. But before I go into what is Pack and Go, let's kind of talk about the way that most people are trying to send files to either coworkers or customers or whoever. Probably today you're doing the procedure of just copying that folder and pasting it somewhere, or maybe pasting it to a CD to send to a customer, or maybe some kind of FTP site. Who knows? And then whenever that customer tries to open up the assembly file, they are noticing that a dialog box is popping up and it is asking for reference files that it cannot find. So that's where Pack and Go comes into play. And it is just a great way to make sure that all of the reference files in regards to the assembly are packaged correctly. And by that I mean, you know as well as I do, if you are an Inventor user, if you are trying to send an assembly file, that an assembly file consists of a lot of parts. And then within this project, you might have CAD drawings, spreadsheets, Word documents, all sorts of things. And by doing the Pack and Go, this actually ensures that the customer or your coworker is getting all the content within that project file. So today what I'm going to do is we're going to go through the process of performing a Pack and Go. And the great thing about Pack and Go is that you can perform this in Windows Explorer, or you can actually perform it within Inventor itself. So today I'm going to demo both, how to do it within Windows Explorer and also within Inventor. Before we begin with the demonstration today on how to perform a Pack and Go, I just wanted you to see the item that we are going to use today. And this is an Inventor assembly. And before we continue any further, I want to go ahead and talk about a few things that you need to go ahead and set up ahead of time. You need to go ahead and set up some folders to where you are going to send these packaged files to. I have set up two folders. One says Pack and Go Windows and one says Pack and Go Inventor. I'm actually going to start the demo within Windows Explorer. So as you can see, I'm in Windows Explorer at the location of the device assembly file. You can see the little thumbnail down at the bottom giving the preview of the device. So what you want to do is you want to right click on the device.iam and click Pack and Go. And this brings up the Pack and Go dialog box. And it already knows that our source file is device.iam. Next, it is wanting us to designate a folder to where these packaged files are going to go. So we need to go and find the one that I have set up for Windows and say OK. And then you notice over here to the left we have options. We got copy to single path, and we also have keep folder hierarchy. Keep folder hierarchy means if you have multiple subfolders within your main folder, it's going to keep that hierarchy, because you know sometimes whenever you're modeling you might want to keep certain things distinguished in other folders, maybe like some custom bolts that you've come up with, or anything custom, and you just want to distinguish, especially if you're in large assemblies. But for today's exercise we're going to just do copy to single path, and what that does is it gets rid of those subfolders and just puts everything under the main folder. Next we have model files only, and what that means is it's only going to bring over or package assembly files, part files, DWG files, IDW files, or the IPN files from within Inventor. So under that, you see that you have include linked files. And what that means is if you have things within your folder such as spreadsheets, Excel spreadsheets or Word documents or any kind of text documents that you want to make sure that you get packaged into that designation folder, that's when you would want to include linked files. But for today, we're only wanting model files only. Also down here at the bottom, you got skip libraries, collect work group, skip styles, and skip templates. And I will come back to that in just a few seconds. Now it wants us to find reference files. That being said, it's wanting us to find the project file. So we're going to have to do a search, find that project file, select it, click open, and I want to first of all point out that the start button is grayed out because it's waiting for us to do one other thing. And then also, in a few moments, I want you to pay attention to this cancel button because that will also change as well. So we're going to hit search now, and it is telling us that it has found 187 files, and the disk space required is 20,359 kilobytes. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm looking over here in Windows Explorer, and there's no way that I'm seeing 187 files. Reason being is because we did not choose to skip libraries, styles, or templates. So I want you to pay attention over here to the file, the total files, and also the disk space required whenever I start checking these. You can see it dropped dramatically. So I always make it a good practice to search again. Now, let's talk about, now that you notice that the start button has become where we can click on it now to start the process. And then down here at the bottom, files found, let's scroll down. Everything has a check beside of it. Sometimes you will run into an issue to where you might be missing some files that are not checked. That being, you might have them in a different location, a different project file. So that's when you need to perform a search for reference files. And your choices are search project file locations or search in folder. And then you would come over here and browse, and once you found them, you would search now, and then if you had any unchecked boxes, those would then become checked. But for now, we're ready to start the process. So I'm going to hit start, and you can see that the cancel button changed to done. We're going to say done, and we're going to go to that Windows folder that was set up, and let's see if everything is in there. And as you can see, all the files that are being referenced for this assembly are all within this folder. Also, you will notice that it has a pack and go log. So let's open that so I can talk about that for just a little bit. It'll give you the date, the day, the date, and the time. It will tell you the operation type, and we did models only. Keep folder hierarchy, we said no. Number of files copied, 14. Total file size is 1.70 megabytes. And then down below that, it is just the location of the assembly and all the parts. Now I want to go into Inventor and pretty much do the exact same thing. So we're in Inventor. We have our assembly open. So we need to go up to the Applications menu, go to Save As, Pack and Go, and you can notice it is the exact same dialog box. The only difference is it already knows that this is our source file, and The difference is that our designation folder needs to be changed. It is still saying Windows from the previous time that we just did it. I want to go and find the Pack and Go Inventor. Click OK. I want to copy the single path. Everything else I'm happy with. And let's search now, because since we just did it within the same project file, it's still showing that as the project. Say search now, and you can notice total files exact same, showing 14. Disk space required still the same. And go down here and validate that everything has a check beside of it, and everything looks okay. So now we're ready to start the process. So I'm going to hit start. I'm going to hit done. We're going to go back to that Inventor folder to make sure everything was placed in that folder. And there you go. It's that simple. What this Pack and Go feature does is make sure that when you're sending an assembly to someone, that they are getting all the reference files with it. So they're not going to get that nasty dialog box that's going to pop up in Inventor saying missing reference files. And then if you send it to a customer, even there's no way they're going to be able to find those files. But if you are doing this within your office, you could find those files, but it could become time consuming to be able to locate each one of those files. So this is where Pack and Go is very beneficial. Not only is it beneficial in those ways, it is also beneficial for engineers, saying if they want to do a Pack and Go and not mess with the original project file, because you got to realize that this is solely just a copy. It is not going to mess up anything in your original project file. So with the project Pack and Go file, engineers can play around with the model or parts or whatnot to come up with different iterations and stuff like that, saying if they want to do some different materials, if they want to change sizes, things like that. It is also good for designers, like say if we were doing something other than the BICE. Let's say if we was doing some kind of game controller and they weren't doing anything engineer-wise, but they were doing stuff for visualization, they could take that Pack and Go file that you have sent to the designer and they can play around with the materials and stuff like that to make sure that this is what we want it to look like, and then you don't have to worry about the designers messing up your original file. I hope you have enjoyed the video today. I'd like to bring your attention to the Applied Software blog, which can be located at www.appliedsoftwareblog.blogspot.com. And there you will find all kinds of information in regards to Autodesk products. It's a great place to come visit. You'll be able to give us your feedback and maybe post some questions out there that you might have or some concerns. Another good reference to keep on hand is wikihelp.autodesk.com. And this is a great website. It doesn't matter if you are a veteran Autodesk user or a beginner Autodesk user. There's all kinds of information that you can gather from that website. But the website that you see that is posted below for the reference material, this will take you to the exact web page that actually speaks about the Pack and Go and how to package files for Inventor. So once again, thank you, and I look forward to speaking with you again.